invest and connect. And that's a very important part of what we do. So let's get deep here. Let's get really deep here.
Oh.
What do you care about? Like, what are you writing? Like, nor the like you care about superheroes as an interest. What is it about superheroes that you're passionate about?
I just like the very like deep and a lot of times emotional like backgrounds that they go through that make up these characters, and that you can kind of sense that from what they do. Like you sense like how like what kind of a person they are from like every action they do. Like I care about like really good character like development and progression, making these characters feel like real people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's. Okay, that's an interesting answer. Not quite what I was going for, but an interesting answer. So, like, for example, in your story,
Yeah.
like your character, like talk about a couple of your characters, and like not in terms. Don't spoil it too much for people who haven't read the book yet.
Yeah.
But give like an example of a choice, like as a writer, like why that fascinated you so much about, and it could be any characters in the story, but pick a character and explain like the choice. Explain a little bit about why they made a choice. Maybe not the climactic one, but a couple of choices in the story that might talk about what you mean by that.
Well, there's a battle in the beginning of the story, and there's a choice that the main character has to do to hold back so she doesn't basically like seriously hurt or kill the person she's fighting with. And that's because like at a fundamental level she values life, and she values like people's life. So
Okay.
that's why she was like, even though she has the power to do a lot of damage and to take someone down, she holds back.
So in that case, is that a blessing that she has that power or a curse?
Yeah, it's kind of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She used to see it as a curse, but with like, and she sees it as because she had to fight and sacrifice to get that control. And there's a lot of times where she's afraid to use too much of it because it might go out of control.
Well, it makes sense though. Like this is like my example is like the strongest people I know are the gentlest. Not like, they're not the most intense or fierce. They're actually the gentlest people because they always put things with kid gloves. They're very gentle around people because they recognize the fact that they are so strong. Right. I have found now I've gotten older and wiser. I recognize that I wouldn't want to be Superman because I'd have not because I don't think he's a boring character. It's not because he's boring. It's because he has so much power.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's a lot of responsibility that you take on.
Not even just responsibility, just even the fact that could you imagine having to even reading a book? You got some cool books behind you right now.
Yeah.
The idea that even reading a book, that if you put any real physical effort into reading this book, you might destroy it.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be. It's a practice of restraint to such a degree, like that the control required would be enormous. I mean, like the real if strength isn't to me that you can lift the house up. Strength to me is how you put it down.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care that you can lift the house. I know people in real life that can lift the house. I'm much more interested in like what did they do with it when it's on shoulders? Do they just shrug it and the house just topples to the ground, never to be seen again? Or are they able to like spin it over the head, and
then put it down gently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That says a lot more to me. That shows strength. Like that's strength, right? So, all of which to say that I think that's the interesting thing about being a superhero. Like if you go to the really powerful characters, that's the thing you're talking about. It's not what they can do, it's about what they can't and why. Right? someone's so strong they can literally go faster than a speeding bullet would be, or someone so fast, so strong they can lift a building or go faster than a speeding bullet. I mean, the big thing is most of the time you couldn't use that power because it just
like with the Flash, like there's an episode of the Justice League when they're like trapped in their like worst fears kind of thing, and like the Superman and the Flash have that's very similar fears. It's like the Flash fears that like he can just keep going faster and faster, and then he won't be able to slow down, and he'll be like kind of on a different level than everyone else.
Oh yeah,
and then like with Superman, he fears that his powers will just continue to grow and grow exponentially out of his control.
Well, yeah, because then, like, what good? Again, what good power, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then,
yeah,
he's just a danger to everyone he cares about.
Which says a lot.
Yeah, which he's afraid of. Yeah,
but that fear says not a lot about who they both are.
Yeah.
I believe it was Wally West's in the Justice League cartoon, right? Wally West, by having that fear, shows you what he wants is just to kind of be a little bit like everybody else, right? And Superman wants to be strong, but not necessarily in the way people think of Superman being strong. I don't want to be strong enough to have all this power. I want to be strong enough to control it, and that's a really interesting. And now we're talking about little like character moments, but that's the stuff people read about. It's not I can lift a house or I have I can be a wizard that can do everything. No, it's not about that. It's about what you overcome. I think that's what makes really great stories. Right. So
it's the journey to like realizing that, or to fully accomplishing that. Like, no character should be perfect at the beginning. They should like have like clear progression throughout the story, and they should be a different person at the end than they were at the beginning.